I like you. I like you.
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning somewhere!
for August 2nd, 2024. My name is Bernie Burns, sitting right over there. She's not the least bit jealous that she's not going on the camping trip. It's Ashley Burns. I had Ashley, everybody.
I'm also having an adventure in the house.
Are you jealous that you're not going on our camping trip with Finn and I?
Well, I'm jealous of things like s'mores. Those are always delicious, tasty treats. But I will be having an entire bed to myself, and that is also an exciting adventure.
I learned today that we have our own pillows in the bed. I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know I had my own pillows. There's like 4 pillows in the bed. They're all 4 exactly the same. And we were making the bed this morning, and Ashley goes, "No, that's your pillow." And I go, my pillow.
It's because they got all mixed up because we spent a little bit of this morning.
What mixed up?
Well, we were playing pillow fights with the kids. Basically,
it's the best.
Especially Evie. She's a year and a half, and her version of roughhouse is basically getting smushed by a pillow and screaming maniacally. And so through that process, our pillows got all mixed up.
I introduced Ashley to. It's like a nice version of like kid and parent therapy that I like to call beating the shit out of the kids. You basically put them on the bed, you flip them, you toss them around, you take the pillow and you whomp them with the pillow, and they love it. They love every second of it.
It's good for everybody.
It's good for everyone. It's especially good for you that one day last week when you were like, and I was like, come here, why don't we go beat the crap out of the kids? And there's something medicinal about laughter. Little kid laughter. They're having a blast, you know?
It basically took everyone's mood from down here to up here, and it was nice.
Yeah. So I learned today when we were making the bed that because of pillow fight, that our pillows got mixed up. And I learned that what I learned there are pillows in the bed that I'm not allowed to use, is what it came across as to me. Because you're like, this is your pillow. This goes on your side of the bed. I go, these are all the same big white pillow. It's like they're all the same.
But they're not. Bernie, the way you treat your pillows is like, I don't understand it. So you have 2 pillows, and for some reason you sleep on both of them.
Apparently 2 pillows and only 2 pillows.
And yet you take one of them and it's like you ball it up and you like stuff it down the crack where the headboard is, and you treat it so mean. And I can put a nice, fresh, lovely, crisp pillowcase on there, and you're going to ball that shit up and you're going to stick it down there. And the next morning, it looks like it's been through the ringer. It's been through a war already. And I don't know. I have one pillow that I sleep on, and then I have one pillow that goes in front of the other pillow that does not get creased and wrinkly, so it stays nice.
Well, first of all, you fit in the full bed. Like, you can put a pillow between you and the headboard, and you're still in the bed. You know?
Yeah, you say that like you don't sleep crosswise anyway.
Oh, jeez. Finn came and snuck into the bed the other night, and he did that. Why did kids like to do that, like, full diagonal move? They want to take up as much room as possible. He doesn't even understand geometry yet, but he knows instinctively how to take up the most room in the bed. It's like we're sleeping with a hypotenuse is what we're sleeping with.
So do cats, for some reason. Moosh will get in the bed, and often he'll just sleep across. He'll take up as much room as he possibly can. For a cat, he's a cat. What is he, 15 pounds? Why does he get a full third of the bed?
All right, this is a podcast just about us now. So welcome to Parasocial Friday, everybody. What is with our fucking cat? This cat...
Our cat is insane.
There is no amount of food that we can feed this cat where he will not eat it, like ravenously eat it. I've seen these things where they have, it looks almost like a maze plate, where it's a bunch of grooves, and you put food in the plate, and it slows down dogs who eat like that. That's how our cat eats. Our cat eats like... We never feed him ever. We feed him every day. And then, trigger word here, we're going to talk about cats after they eat throwing up. What's that?
I was signaling if you want to do the expressing a cat's anal glands.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't. I'm lost in the weeds here on mush. But he throws up. He throws up. And he throws up like a bowl of completely, not just undigested, unchewed food.
It's like there's still whole bits. I don't understand it.
It would be the equivalent of if I came down every single morning and I poured a giant bowl of cereal, no milk, just spoonful, like dry swallowed all the cereal without chewing it once.
Well, you'd vomit too.
And then somehow I do this every morning
And never
learn not to
Never
do
learn.
it. And I've tried everything to get this cat to slow down. I've literally held him while he eats and like try to pull him away.
back him off it. Like, you've had enough now. Take a second, chew it, enjoy it.
Just slow down. I say that all the time. Just slow down.
You know
we
when
feed
he
him
eats, like,
tiny little bits, only
he-
enough to cover the bottom of the bowl. Doesn't matter.
and then vomit. And then he has no food. And then so we have to give him more food. And then the cycle repeats.
How is he getting fat?
You know what he eats like? He eats like a younger brother.
He's crazy. Yeah, he does eat like a younger brother. Yeah.
Like, if I don't eat this all right now, the older brothers are going to come from me.
That's exactly it. And that's why I eat as fast as I do, because I'm a younger brother. You're an older sister, so you eat like so incredibly slow. And apparently claim pillows for yourself without any kind of discussion about it whatsoever. My thing is with the pillows, when I'm sleeping, I like to have 2 pillows. And then there's some point during the evening when I'm sleeping, when I wake up, and it's completely random. I don't have names for my pillows or whatever you're doing on your side of the bed. I decide one of my pillows, you've got to go. I've had it with you. I only want one pillow at that point in time. And then that pillow goes wherever. You say it goes down between the headboard and the bed. Usually it just goes off the side of my bed. It's like,
Or
get out of here.
off the side of the bed, or it comes over and you like give it to me. And then there's just a pillow between us.
It's just too much, Ashley.
It's just too much.
Too many pillows. But now I've learned, do you have the pillows marked in some way? Like, is there some kind of like a tag that you know which pillows are yours?
Yes. Well, no, not which pillows are mine, but I know like which pillows are mine, like in order. I know which is my sleep on pillow and which is my stay nice pillow.
What is happening? I had no idea.
You don't know this about our life.
No, I didn't know. By the way, all these pillows are the exact same. They're just 4 pillows that usually stacked on top of each other at the end of the bed. That's it. Then we have these like 3 throw pillows, 5 throw pillows that we have to put on the bed because
In a specific order, yes.
just in case the queen stops by and wants to see our bedroom, we have to put these 5 throw pillows on. And I can always tell if I'm going to have a good morning or a bad morning. Where if I'm a little bit slow to get up, and Ashley has decided to make the bed by herself, like that's a decision you make on your own. But I feel like somehow I'm the catalyst for you when you make the bed on your own. I'm like, I'm in big fucking trouble.
Not at all. You're reading something into that isn't there. I'm just making the bed so it's ready for the day.
And then when you leave, I switch the pillows up. So you have no idea which pillow is yours. You pretend like you know, but you don't know. So sorry you don't get to go on the camping trip today, Ashley. I should also point out the camping trip is like 50 feet outside of one of our windows.
Yeah, it's Finn's first camping trip, really. So we're taking it easy. This is like, I don't know, if it rains, you can run indoors or something if he is scared of the rain.
It's
I don't know.
lawn camping.
Yes.
Or garden camping, as they say here.
Backyard camping is a fine and honorable tradition.
It really is. It really is. Only, I think, superseded by living room camping. When you set up the tent in the living room, kids they love that.
Yeah.
They love that.
Look, it's like having like indoor picnic, right?
Yeah.
Where you just you set out a picnic blanket and you have your apples and cheese and whatever, and everyone has a little picnic, and that's really just a trick to get your parents to get you to eat.
We used to have this thing in the U.S., which we can't have here because of a very specific item it assumes you have in your house that you can't get really in the U.K. We used to have this thing. We found it on Instagram for when Finn was like 2, and we were still going back and forth to the U.S. and the U.K. on a fairly regular basis. We had to think it would attach to one of those square box floor fans. And everybody in America is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. It just attaches to that, and then you turn it on, and it inflates like this little spaceship. And it was like a air-inflated little tent
thing. And so the fan would just blow air into it, and the fabric on this tent was light enough that it could just pop right up into spaceship shape. It was incredible. He spent so much time playing with that spaceship. Not really as it was intended. He would dive in and dive out, and he would hide in there.
Like we couldn't get in it somehow?
Right. He had quite a lot of fun with it. But yeah, we brought the tent. We brought that blow-up tent here, only to discover
no square floor fans.
Yeah.
Not a thing here. It's just like what we call a box fan, I guess, in the U.S., just not a thing in the U.K. And it's one of those items you can't bring over from the U.S. because the plug is different and everything else, and it's got a motor in it. So
right, and the voltage is different. So we have a tent, and we've tried. There's these big round fans that you get instead. It's the equivalent of the box.
We have those in the U.S. too. We have both. Yeah, we have both.
Do we have both?
It's like having 2 sets of pillows, Ashley. But apparently the UK decided we only have one kind of fan. That's ours. And the US can have their own kind of fan secretly, and no one will tell them. And then one day the US will just find out and go, oh, I thought we were sharing all the fans.
I love that you didn't know this.
I don't know why it affected me so much when I learned it. You just like, you handed me the pillow and you go, wait, this is your pillow. And I go, yeah, my pillow, ha ha. And then you were like, no, seriously, this is not ideal. Like you didn't want it anywhere near your side of the bed. I don't know. I was affected by it.
The pillowcase is all wrinkled up.
Why? What does that mean? Wrinkled up pillowcase.
If I sleep on it, maybe I'll get nap wrinkles on my face.
What
don't know.
Are you not wrinkling the bed sheets when you lay down? Are you like a vampire, like ethereal form?
You should look at our sides of the bed post sleep. Anytime that I've slept in the bed by myself, like your side is completely undisturbed. I like pull up the covers and I go to sleep, and it's this lovely thing. When you sleep in the bed, a war is happening.
Listen, it's been a tough day. Sometimes you have to fight the bed.
Well, speaking of warriors, maybe let's spend a little bit of time talking about things that are happening in the world outside of the house.
I hope we're going to talk about the Olympics.
We are going to talk about the Olympics.
How long are the Olympics going to go on?
I think they go a couple of weeks.
I think we should have our athlete of the day.
Yes. So I don't want to spend too much time harping on the Olympics today, but I do want to shout out my Olympian of the day, the Turkish shooter. His name is Yusuf Ducic. Yusuf Ducic. Shit.
It's okay. You're doing your best. Go for it.
He rocked up to the Olympics. All the other shooters were wearing this specialized like sighting gear and all this stuff. And he just rocks up. He's got his glasses on. He just goes, looks at the target, fucking nails the bullseye. They sent a hitman to the Olympics.
Did you see though, like before he was the athlete of the moment for the shooting events, the pistol events, for some reason, is this the first time they've ever had pistols in the Olympics? I don't remember the pistol athletes being a big deal before.
Maybe because they weren't Turkish hitmen.
But before that was the Korean female shooter who had like all the gear. She looks like the Spy Kids meme with all the the little viewports looking through it. She's got all this gear attached to her head. And everyone was like, oh my God, she's so cool. Like she broke a world record and didn't even react. She was just like, cool, and like just like dismantled
like,
weapon.
Yep, I did that.
Yeah. And then this guy comes out and he's got his hand in his pocket. He's got no gear on whatsoever. It looks like he's got a pair of earplugs from like Home Depot, just those foam ones jammed in his ear. And then he just shoots. And he's like, yeah, okay, silver medal. What are you gonna do?
It was awesome.
Pretty awesome.
It was awesome. So he's my Olympian of the day.
Well, my Olympian of the day is Giorgia Villa, who is an Italian gymnast. Can I say, by the way, we say names. I want to point out some hypocrisy, and I think during the Olympics is a good time to point out this hypocrisy, if I may. We spend a lot of time before we do this. Like, we looked up how to pronounce this, how to pronounce that. We actually, I'm really annoyed by YouTube videos, these channels, that how to pronounce. And you're looking up, say, a name or a city name or something like that. That should not be a 45-second video, right? Yet they have all this fluff in these videos. I think might have talked about this before, where it's like a lot of people wonder how to pronounce Italian gymnast, and they wait.
Like how to pronounce this athlete's name.
It's the best part about YouTube is you can start to scrub and you can see the point where everyone like was scrubbed to, and like that's where the information is. So we do that. We do all that stuff, and we spend time and want to make sure that we pronounce things correctly.
And then I get in my own head about it too.
You do get into your own head about it, and here's why I think that is. For the rest of the world, if they mispronounce something or they pronounce it differently, like an American word, and they pronounce it in the incorrect way, they are saying it in their accent.
Okay.
But when you say things in an American accent, you're mispronouncing it. Why is that? Why is the American accent, if you say things with an American accent, you are saying it incorrectly? But if you say things with a Chinese accent or an Italian accent, you're saying it with an accent.
It's the dark side of U.S. defaultism, Bernie.
Is it? Is that what it is?
Must be.
Is it the punching up?
There had to be a dark side.
It's the punching up of the linguistics world. I like that I flubbed linguistics when I said it.
Okay, so tell me about your Olympian.
She's, I believe she's a floor gymnast. She's from Italy, and she is now going viral because she is sponsored by Parmesan cheese. So she has all these promo shoots with a gigantic block, a wheel of Parmesan cheese. And I don't know why, I find it completely endearing. And she looks super happy about being there with the cheese.
I've seen some of those shots. They're very artistic.
I also realize there's like lots of different reactions to these photos, and I think they're all based on age. Like there's a certain age of people who see the photo and go, wow, she's very pretty and very fit. Then there's another age of men who go, oh man, I like cheese. And then there's an even later age of categories of men who look at this photo and go, do you realize the value of the wheel of Parmesan that she's holding? That shit is expensive, man.
It is.
It is expensive.
You get a tiny little sliver of it and see how much that's going to run you.
And the nice thing about this photo is there's something for everybody in that.
It's great though. Big Parm's reaching out. They're reaching into the aisle of gymnastics and saying, "You may tumble."
And it's also too because people are learning about it. They're saying she's sponsored by a type of cheese, Parmesan cheese, and people's like, no, there's like a whole federation organization that determines what is Parmesan cheese and what is not.
She's sponsored by the Cheese Fed?
She's like the underground, like the cheese group from Italy. I'm very carefully avoiding words here. She's the organization of people who determine what is Parmesan cheese and what is not, and enforce that. Whatever. I don't know if there's a word for that in Italian, but maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. The world's coming together for the Olympics, and I want to be part of that coming together. So.
Well, that's nice. So those are our spotlight of the day. So in other current events news, are you up to date on this Jamie Lee Curtis MCU thing?
Is it okay if I say I don't want to be up on something in current events? Because I keep reading headlines about this, that Jamie Lee Curtis has had to publicly apologize for her comments about the state of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. So at Comic-Con, she was on a panel, and MTV asked her to tell them which phase the MCU is in, and she said bad.
Oh, she said it's in the bad phase.
Yes, which is a joke that I think many of us have made, right? Like all right, raise your hands. Who thinks that Marvel is currently, Deadpool and Wolverine notwithstanding, in its strongest point?
I mean, literally everyone.
No hands. There are no hands in the air.
Everyone has said this. Everyone. Like, is James Cameron going to have to apologize for predicting superhero fatigue? What, 8 years ago he predicted it?
And
guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah, so she did apologize. She said she even reached out to Kevin Feige. She put out a tweet saying that she'd like, I'll do better. But the thing is, Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool and Wolverine, which we just mentioned, is actually jumping in to defend her, saying she shouldn't need to apologize, that Marvel fans have taken it way too far, berating her over this.
Did he say all of that?
What sounds to me like a joke. Well, he says specifically, let me see if I can pull it up.
Didn't he say I have read this, even as much as I want to stay out of it. He said something like, oh, are we at a point now where we have to apologize for making fun of the MCU?
Yes.
Are we all going to have to do that?
The specific quote is, wait, is everyone expected to apologize for slamming Marvel post-Endgame? Because for those who have seen Deadpool and Wolverine, it takes a number of cheeky shots at Marvel, as one would expect. And so, it's like for some reason she's not allowed to, but everyone else is. Seems weird to me.
It's one of those things where those fans, I guess, feel like they're in on the joke at that point, as opposed to someone making fun of them. But this is punching up. It's the MCU, for Christ's sake. It's literally like 50% of movies that are released. My numbers might be off there. It is punching up, but people hate when you punch up at the thing that they like. Then they don't see it as punching up. Everyone loves to do it until it's their thing.
I guess so. But you know who, Bernie, who could do better?
Yep, a lot of people.
Boeing.
I was going to say, how much time you got? Let me get on my list. Oh, man. Yeah, Boeing.
So this is specifically about Starliner. You were talking to me about this just when we got up this morning, that NASA is now evaluating other options to bring the not stranded astronauts back to Earth.
Jesus.
So it would if they have to come back on something that's not Starliner, does NASA just drop the Boeing contract at that point? Do you leave that motherfucker in space?
Yeah, what happens to it? Like, does it just stay there docked? I mean, there will be a point in time when they're like, hey, we're just going to push this thing back into orbit.
Until SpaceX puts it in the South Pacific Ocean.
Although I do like the idea of them coming back on something else. Starliner stays up there, and NASA the astronauts in the ISS have to put like one of those big orange stickers on the windshield, like this vehicle is going to be towed unless you move it.
They're gonna put a boot. They're gonna put a boot on it.
Just like all the parking tickets piling up on Starliner. What are they going to do? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there are worse scenarios than taking something else back to Earth. There's one particular scenario that's way worse than that.
Yeah, you mean like not coming back at all?
Right. They get on
One-way
it.
trip?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The nice thing is that in this case, there are options that they could just basically hop another shuttle back down to Earth and get there. That's a good thing.
They just, with Ace and Butch, what's their names again? The astronauts?
Sonny and Butch.
Sonny and Butch. With these astronauts, they are a reality show in the making because they have way overstayed their welcome in the ISS, right? Like, what was their...
Well, they were staying in the guest room now, but like now, whose food are they eating? Or
Right.
they just walk in. Float into the kitchen, and they're just someone's got their food with their label on it, and they're like, "I'm eating this."
Exactly. Also, that for oxygen. It is crazy. It's like these people wake up every day, like they go sleep in their Velcro bunk. And then they go out there, they bug the other astronauts. They're like,
Hey, what are you guys doing?
do you need any help?
What are you guys doing?
with,
You
like
need,
the plants?
I can hold things,
Or,
whatever
like,
you need.
You need to be like, what are you running a mineral experiment? It's like, yes, leave me the fuck alone. I'm doing my work. I mean, how bored would you be after 2 months?
The nice thing is, Bernie, I bet all the way up there they get satellite TV. they're just strapped into the recliners in the living pod.
They're probably the people who leaked the House of Dragons finale. That's probably them. They did it out of spite.
They were just so bored.
Cover their tracks. I mean, they're watching the Olympics now from space, and they went up in late May?
Yeah, they've been up about 8 weeks now. So they're approaching, if not past 7 weeks, I think, over what they were going to be up there. And so that's a lot. They are racking up the overtime dollars.
They don't have clothes. Like, seriously, there's
They
so
gotta do
many
laundry
things to consider.
so much.
I want to hear from these two because they're probably like playing along while they're up there because they still need the ride home. But when they get home, they're going to be like, you motherfuckers.
They're gonna start roasting online.
I mean, they're also
They're gonna hop on Facebook and you would not believe this.
You know, I'm just kind of curious. We're down a rabbit hole here too, but it's like also you're in a microgravity environment for much longer than you trained for, probably, and expected. I don't know. I assume they didn't train for this amount of time. But it's like, what's the longest anyone goes up to the ISS for the first time?
Oh, for the first time,
I would imagine it's more than 8 weeks, but
longest
yeah.
time in space. I'm going to look this up because there was someone who I believe set a record. 437 days is the longest space flight overall. That is held by a Russian cosmonaut, Valery Polyakov.
I can't believe you would mispronounce his name. Like
Look, I'm just saying it in my accent.
Fucking Americans. Ruining language everywhere.
Well, I would like to thank a couple people who are not ruining language today. Thank you to our sponsors, Zork and Andrew Tran, for sponsoring this episode of Morning Somewhere at patreon.com/Morning Somewhere. And speaking of the Patreon, this weekend we will be doing a Q&A. So we will have a post up on the Patreon taking questions, and we will answer them sometime this weekend.
Zork, huh?
Zork!
Wow, Zork. I'm going to do some gender assuming here, assume that Zork might be male. And I'm definitely going to assume some age here and assume they're old as fuck.
Well, it's spelled with a Q-U-E, so this might be the feminine Zork.
Oh, the Torque version of Zork?
More of a Zork-hey.
Zork was the old Infocom game, text-based adventure.
Zork Grand Inquisitor. Mwah, beautiful game.
Anyone, that's like the 18th iteration
Oh, I know.
of Zork.
I know.
That might be the CD-ROM Zork, right?
It was I believe the second CD-ROM Zork. There was Zork Nemesis, and then there was Zork Grand Inquisitor. That was at the time of the FMV craze, and so they had a lot of like FMV stuff. There's like a princess, and there's like an Indiana Jones type, and I believe it's Cecil from an Adam Sandler movie is like the bad guy in it. It's amazing.
Everyone who understood everything that Ashley just said are the same group of people who go, that is an expensive wheel of Parmesan. Same demographic. All right, well, that does it for us today. Second day of August 2024, 8 weeks into the Starliner mission. We will be back to talk to you from Earth on Monday. We hope you'll be here as well.
Bye, everybody.